Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. Coming up, Kroger is lying to you and it's costing you money.
Also, let's discuss. Would you rather look like Yoda or a minion?
All that and more on the way next. Thanks for checking out another fine episode of the RadioU Podcast. Allie and I doing an intro today where the last couple of days we missed out on doing this.
Yes.
We missed out because we've been so busy.
So jam-packed with our schedules.
Now, I don't want this to turn into us complaining about being busy because everybody does that, right? Like, I have so much going on. Nobody is like, I just got so much free time in my day. Right. Nobody's saying that.
No.
So, but we have had just so much that we had to squeeze into time that some things had to be missed, like the intro. But what's funny is, like, a lot of people probably think, especially if you listen to us on the radio, when the show stops, you're like, all right, that's it. You go home, right? But that's not how it is. Like, we have other stuff we do.
Yep.
And so many times it's stuff that you wouldn't think about working in radio at all.
Right. Yeah. 100%. Because a lot of times when people will talk to me, they think that my job pertains to two things: being on the air and show prepping for being on the air.
Yeah.
And
preparing to be on the show.
In one instance, I kind of wish that was my entire focus, but also that's not realistic because there's so many other things that we do in our office
that
here
have to be done.
And we
only have so many people.
We only got so many people. We have to do this stuff, and so I usually never correct people when they have that assumption because I don't want to be rude, but yeah, that is kind of a misconception about radio jobs.
A little peel back of the curtain here is, like, part of the reason we've been busy the last couple of days is because you've been folding laundry.
Yeah.
Who told you when you got into radio you'd be folding laundry?
Yeah.
The truth is we're shipping out all the fundraiser shirts that people had, earned with their donations to RadioU to keep us going. And so, of course, we're very thankful for that.
Thankful.
And it's kind of cool. I think it's cool that we get to ship them out, and it just shows all that we get to see all the people that had donated. And we already thanked them when they first donated, but another chance to just be grateful. So it's a good project, but it's just like, this isn't what you think we're doing, what you would expect us to be doing.
Exactly.
When we're not on the radio.
And also, it's something that's time consuming because you don't want to mess up.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to send people the wrong size or the wrong shirt or the whatever. And so,
a lot of people donate, so it's a lot of shirts.
It's a lot of shirts, which we're so thankful for. We're thankful those piles are high, but somebody had to fold them. That was me. And then we have to ship them out. That's a whole team effort. We get everybody involved in that because it takes time. And so, right now we're just very, very busy. Busy bees over here at RadioU.
But today we have a little bit of breathing room. We had enough time to do this.
Yes.
It was worth it.
Yeah.
Well, a big congratulations is in order, it sounds like. 8772 RadioU for Bill Belichick and Jordon Hudson. A report from the New York Times suggests that they're engaged.
Oh, boy.
It hasn't officially been announced yet, of course. But and this is what makes it so weird, because you'd think that like there'd be a race for this to be confirmed by everybody and then be on the news. But the New York Times did a report that was a bunch of stuff about Bill Belichick and Jordon Hudson. And in that report, just thrown in there somewhere was, and Jordon Hudson's told at least one person that her and Bill Belichick are engaged.
Yeah.
So that's a weird way to do it. And then on top of that, though, adding fuel to the fire is that Bill Belichick, a known boater, has a boat that's called 8 Rings, for all the Super Bowls and stuff. And it's been renamed. It's 1 + 8 rings.
Interesting.
What would that other ring be?
I wonder.
And so it seems like it all adds up, and Bill Belichick is engaged to Jordon Hudson.
Well, this is just not great news, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know what their relationship truly looks like behind the scenes.
It's hard to judge.
But with everything that we've seen recently, I have an icky feeling about the whole thing. And honestly, it feels like, especially if he's changing the name of his boat to this new stupid name, 1 + 8, I feel like he's the epitome of the person that when they get in a relationship, they change their entire personality.
Okay.
And like everything they do is revolving around that, significant other now, which it's like, that's okay to some extent, but I'm sure as anybody who has been in a long-term relationship will tell you, you need to still remain distinct individual people. You can't meld into, especially one melding entirely into the other, losing all their personality, losing their friends, losing what they like to do on their own, and like not even having their own opinions anymore.
She's killing independent Bill.
Yeah, I'm getting nervous about Bill here because I'm like, is he even like himself anymore?
I feel like you said it. We don't know what things are like behind the scenes, but we do know how things are in front of the scenes. And it doesn't seem great.
They're not good.
And I feel like Bill needs some friends here because I'm with you. I'm concerned. I think somebody needs to tell Bill, listen, Bill, you can do better. You can do better. No offense to Jordon Hudson, but you can do better, Bill Belichick. You have 8 rings. You said it on your boat. There should be plenty of women. You should have plenty of suitors. And it does it seem rushed a little bit? It seems like there's a really rapid rate that they're going at here. But Bill's, he's 73, he's getting on in years, right? But he's still healthy enough to coach a college football team. So he's still healthy enough he's got plenty of years to find that right special someone. Just because Jordon Hudson came along and she showed some interest. We all know people like this, right? They get a little older and they're like the first person that comes along. Well, I guess this is it then.
This is the one.
It doesn't have to be that way.
No.
There's other options, Bill.
Yeah, and again, I don't know what that relationship looks like. Maybe they are truly happy with one another, but the signs of what we're seeing in the public eye make me nervous.
But how many friends have we all had where you say the same thing? I don't know what it's like behind the scenes. They don't seem to get along in person. It doesn't seem to be great when they're at parties and whatever. And then eventually it always ends.
The relationship ends. You mean?
Yeah. You don't often see, wow, they really don't seem to get along, or it doesn't seem like a great relationship when they're around, but we don't know what they're like back behind the scenes. And then actually they like stay together forever.
Well, the only difference there is that you are seeing arguments on both sides. Both sides are not getting along. For this, what we're seeing with Bill and Jordon, it's like Bill's getting steamrolled here.
Yeah.
He has no opinions about anything anymore. It's all just Jordon. So that's what makes me more nervous about it.
I support Bill Belichick, but I'm worried. I'm worried.
Yeah.
You know what? I need the football season to start. He needs to focus on that.
Yes.
He needs that to give him some space.
Get him on track.
Yesterday, we learned that the viral McDonald's Coke and fries migraine cure actually scientifically makes sense.
Actually kind of works.
It's accurate. And now we find out that pizza could be the key to relieving stress.
I believe it.
Yeah. It's seems like this is another study done by the University of the Obvious, but this is a real study. And no, it wasn't done by Papa John's either. It was done by the University of East Anglia in England, the country of England, where they found that basically there's a lot of things about pizza that are good for you, including just simply the smell alone. The smell alone could significantly reduce stress and boost mood. 28% of people that were in this study had a noticeably boosted mood just from smelling pizza, not even eating it.
The power of pizza, man.
Yeah.
You just feel better from just knowing it's around.
Yeah.
Knowing it exists in the world makes you happier.
It is. Sometimes if you're just feeling down, you just got to remember to yourself, oh yeah, pizza is a thing.
Pizza's a thing and I can have it.
You can, yeah. I don't know what the people that can't have pizza tell themselves. That must be difficult.
That must be. But here's the thing. Pizza is so versatile that I think for the most part, unless you are like allergic to bread or, the dough or something, for the most part, you can find a pizza that works for you and your allergy.
Yeah. People are so desperate to have pizza in their lives, they convince themselves that cauliflower crust is good.
Yeah, well, I would too. If I couldn't have regular pizza, I would have to convince myself that that's okay.
And then I'd really look in the mirror and be like, am I not allowed to have regular pizza, or do I just think I shouldn't have it? And then if I think I shouldn't have it, then I'd still have it.
Yeah.
You got to really, if you're giving up actual pizza, you got to really be sure. Like, doctor, run all the tests.
Yes.
Run all of them.
Be certain that I cannot have this.
It also, their study also claims that with the tomato sauce, of course, I feel like this is a stretch, but the tomato sauce carries antioxidants and immune-boosting vitamin C. So you add that to just the simple fact that the smell makes you happier. Between pizza and McDonald's, that'll cure whatever ails you.
Yeah, it'll cure whatever ails you. But also, we should remark everything in moderation.
Everything in moderation. But I feel like the tides are turning. We've been told so long. These studies have come out that say, don't eat this food, don't eat that food.
It'll
it's
give
bad
you
for you.
cancer.
Yeah, everything you enjoy is bad for you.
Yeah.
And now we're finally getting some things that say, actually, not only is it like good to be happy, but it's actually like can have some good properties to it too.
Exactly. Enjoying life is a good thing.
Yeah.
Enjoying the things you eat is a good thing.
It's like laughter is the best medicine.
Right.
So you combine pizza, McDonald's, and this show, and you should be healthy. You should live forever.
No migraines ever.
No migraines.
Ever.
I don't know. Maybe sometimes when I get yelling, I might bring those on. What an exciting day. 8772 Radio U. It's Wednesday, so we have the Battle of the Buzz. That's now 30 minutes away with new music from Good Weather Forecast and John Keith. We also have a supposed reported engagement that we talked about, Bill Belichick and Jordon Hudson. And we got a new baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations to Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig from the Peppa Show.
Yep.
Where, if you recall, it was back in February when they announced that they were going to have another baby. They did it on, what was it, Good Morning America, Good Morning Britain or whatever.
And also on Kelsey, what's her
Go
name?
on.
Is it-
Kramer?
No, isn't it like Kelsey or something like that? Like Jason Kelsey's wife?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Whatever her name.
Kylie? Is it
Kylie. I was like, I feel like it's another K.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Kylie Kelsey, yes.
They announced on Good Morning Britain yesterday that the baby has been born.
Yes.
New baby. Is it Evie or Evie?
That's a good question.
I actually should have watched the clip because I just read what happened.
I know. I just read it as well, so I didn't listen to it. My
Probably
guess
Evie,
for
right?
Britain, I don't know. My guess for Britain might actually be Evie, but I don't know.
It's that I do know that apparently Mummy Pig delivered the baby in the very same hospital where like some of the recent royal children have been born.
Yeah.
So I didn't know she was that posh.
Yeah, who knew that she was going to the same hospital as Kate Middleton?
Yeah, but she's still in recovery. Still resting and recovering, but her and the baby are doing great.
They're doing just fine.
Peppa's putting on a smiling face now, but she's probably a little jealous. A bunch of attention about to leave her sphere.
No, I think she's a pretty selfless little
think?
pig.
I don't know. Have you watched the show?
I have not.
Sometimes Peppa, I don't know.
Does she get a little jelly?
She's not perfect. Yeah.
She gets a little jelly.
She gets a little out of control sometimes.
All right.
I don't know.
I mean, no kid is perfect, and no pig is perfect either.
Yeah, she'll have to learn. Now, I thought this, and many other people said this too. Seems like this was a very quick pregnancy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I didn't realize it was that soon. They had announced it back in February.
It was in February, but I looked it up, and the average gestation period for pigs, 114 days. Other words, basically 3 or 4 months.
Oh, so they actually did time it out well.
In this cartoon,
They were very accurate.
They were scientifically accurate with how they had the length of time the Mummy Pig was pregnant. But somebody did say, really quick pregnancy for the baby to always be 1 year old forever.
Yeah.
Because it will not age. I mean, Peppa hasn't aged, right?
Yeah, Peppa hasn't aged. George, her little brother, hasn't aged. And so
he
now
hasn't really added a lot of words to his vocabulary, as far as I know.
He's just supposed to be like a little toddler. So, they'll just have 3 little adorable children now.
Well,
pigs.
This is not. I act like I know things about Peppa. I've seen it. I haven't watched in a long time. I'm not going to watch Peppa Pig.
No.
I don't have any plans.
I don't either.
To check in on the baby.
I don't either.
It's not going to work on me.
Yeah, I did think it was cool though because they posted on their official account a town crier which is still a thing in England,
No way.
announcing the birth of the baby.
Wow. That's headline news.
And it is.
It's wolves at the gate. I love that I had to clarify. I haven't watched Peppa Pig in a while. Why did I do that?
Why did you say that?
Nobody suspected, right?
No.
If you haven't noticed, there's a new fashion trend that's taking off for the summer. People are wearing soccer cleats just in everyday life. 8772 Radio U. It's become a trend, particularly on TikTok, where people are using the hashtag boots only summer. And these are like actual soccer shoes that people are just wearing all over the place, which is, not what the shoes are meant for.
Nope.
So it's a little odd and surprising, but people have really embraced this, and it's made it all the way to like celebrities, like Rosalia has wore.
I have no idea who that is.
She's a singer.
I have no idea who that is.
She had her own Coke. You never heard of Rosalia?
Nope.
She was wearing New Balance cleats with the rest of her whatever when she went to the Met Gala.
Oh.
It was a part of her Met Gala outfit was soccer cleats. That's how big this has gotten. But I mean, she is following the trend, not exactly starting it, because this was already a thing. What do you think of wearing soccer cleats all over the place, Allie?
I think that's going to ruin them. I think it's a waste of money.
Well, all shoes get ruined by being worn.
Well, these particularly will get ruined quicker because they're not meant for just walking around on streets, sidewalks, and they're meant for being used on a field or, turf or something like that.
And they're also meant to be fashionable. So you can just wear them.
I'm usually not against people, with their personal fashion choices. You can do what you like.
Yeah.
That's fine. But I know I personally won't be doing this.
If they get ruined by you using them, then they served their purpose.
I feel like this is just a way for people to be like, I'm athletic, but even though I'm not.
Yeah. Now that is why I will not be participating in this. One, because shoes are expensive. I'm not the kind of person that has a lot. I get like one pair and just wear them for everything always for as long as they still stay intact.
I am not that way at all.
But so that's reason one that I won't get soccer cleats because I don't already have any. But second, I know that it's a trend now, so maybe the expectations will be a little lower, but I don't want to set expectations of like people seeing me out wearing soccer cleats and like, hey, we're getting a few guys together and playing later. Yeah. You want to join? And I'm like, they're just shoes, man.
Yeah,
they're
I know I look cool, but I'm not really.
There's sports I'm worse at than soccer.
Okay.
But I would let the team down unless it's penalty kicks because I will not miss the net, unlike professional soccer players.
It's harder than you think.
I'm not going to miss the biggest net in all of sports.
It's harder than you think to hit a ball straight or at an angle and get it in the net. It's not as easy as you think.
I'm not saying I would score if there's a goalie there. I'm just saying I'm not going to kick it. I'm definitely not going to kick it over the net. But I'm not going to kick it to the left or right either, because that's why would you do that to yourself?
We might need to film a video of going out and trying this.
Make the goalie do something, even if it's stopping a trickling ball that's going 2 miles an hour.
Oh, wow. That would be even more embarrassing than missing the goal.
No, I don't think so.
Yes, it would.
It's the biggest goal in all of sports. And you miss it. The goalie can just stand there. He might as well have not even been there.
Well, yeah, but I just mean, I feel like if you have no oomph behind the ball, like that's pretty bad. It's almost as if you hit it.
I will not. I don't accept. You're the professional soccer players. You get paid millions of dollars and you kick it away.
No, I agree with you. It's embarrassing to miss a penalty kick as a professional soccer player. But still, I think you're making it seem as if it's a piece of cake. It's not.
It's not a piece of cake to score. It's a piece of cake to not miss the net.
It's not as easy as you think.
Miss the net. Anybody could miss the net.
Yeah, anyone can.
Kroger has been lying to you, and it's costing you money. 8772 Radio U. If you shop at Kroger, you're going to want to hear this new report. The Guardian partnered with Consumer Reports and the Food and Environment Reporting Network to conduct a little investigation on some Krogers across the country, Kroger grocery stores.
Okay.
They had secret shoppers go to 26 Krogers across 14 states and Washington, D.C., and found that in 14 out of the 26 stores they checked, there were items that were listed at a certain price when you saw them on the shelf, but then when you went to check out, they rang up as a different price.
Oh.
AKA costing you money because it was $2.50 on the shelf and $3.75 when you went to pay for it. Not good.
Nope.
Yeah. Now, I am curious because as somebody who shops at Kroger, are they leaving something out here where you have to have the Kroger card and you have to have the coupon clipped because you have to go on, they have a lot of digital coupons that it would take anybody to go through all of the digital coupons hours. But they do have those. And so if you're maybe missing the coupon, then that could be, or not using your Kroger card, that could be the culprit, the explanation.
I was going to say, when you first ring up Kroger items, it does not apply the discount until you use your card or the coupons. And so, because I do this all the time, and actually I think it's the most satisfying part about shopping at Kroger. You scan all your items, you put them in the little bag if you're doing the self-checkout or whatever, and then you scan. I usually scan my card last, even though they keep reminding you, scan your card anytime, anytime now, you can scan your card. But I usually do it last, and then when you hit pay, then it goes down the line.
It feels like you're winning the lottery or something.
It shows you all the discounts.
It's like
you're
a casino.
Woo!
It's like a slot machine.
Yeah, you're like waiting to see what the actual price is. And the other day, I went shopping and it switched from it was going to be $23 to $17 because it applied all the discounts. And so, I'm wondering if that might be the case here because it doesn't apply it until you use that card. But often people do look at that yellow and red number on the Kroger list and not the white and black one.
If you don't have your Kroger card put in, you are losing money. Yeah, but that's on you.
That's on you, but they still do display what you're actually paying for if you don't have the Kroger card.
That's right. It does show. So this is why I feel like I want to have a little more faith in this report that they're not just being dumb.
Yeah, no, I would hope not.
But also, here's my recommendation. If Kroger is your store, and I can't believe I'm saying this because 2 years ago me would have never said this, do the online pickup. Put the order in there because then obviously anything you're buying, you can see if there's coupons because you're already on the website. And you're obviously what you see there is what you're actually paying. The one caveat is be careful with the substitutions because you could put a Kroger brand Coke and then they give you real Coke because they're out of Kroger brand Coke and that's 4 times more expensive. Yeah. So just be careful with the substitutions. But other than that, that's the solution. But also, let's not let Kroger off the hook here. They shouldn't be allowed to lie.
No, if they are truly doing this, then that's not okay. And they do need to be, this does need to be corrected if this is a problem. But I have never experienced this. I will, decide to try and pay more close attention.
Yeah,
I usually
keep your eyes out.
Yeah, I usually do because I know the stuff that I saw was going to be on sale and I make sure and look, yes, it applied that discount to that item. But I can look a little closer to everything else. That maybe there are other things that are not on sale that the price is going up when you scan it.
Somebody in the chat said, I take pictures of the prices as I go and then I argue if it doesn't come up the way that's a lot of work.
That is a lot of extra work. I don't know if I'm willing to do that, but...
Think about how much money that could save you over time, though.
Yeah, I just don't know if I'm really getting, ripped off at Kroger.
Yeah.
I'm not positive about that.
Or some people just tell you go to Aldi, everything's cheaper there.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just not convinced. I'm not convinced yet, Guardian. You need to work harder to convince me.
It was only 14. Only half of the stores are lying. Is it too early to get excited about the 2028 Summer Olympics? No, definitely not, especially after we got news yesterday that the NFL is going to be allowing its players to participate in flag football at the Olympics.
Yeah.
That's a huge announcement. Now, there are some caveats to it's not the flag football at the Olympics is not going to be all NFL players, of course. But there was a question of whether the NFL would allow their players to participate at all, because it's still a risk of injury and blah, blah, blah. But it sounds like the owners have voted in favor of allowing the players to participate. So here's the rules. Only one NFL player from each team could be selected for the U.S. Olympic team.
Okay.
So there would not be, I don't know, let's think of an example here. Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill could not both be on the United States team.
Yeah.
If they're both on the Dolphins.
You only choose one.
In 2028. I guess there's a lot of things that could change between now and then. But also, each team can have one designated international player that could play for another country.
Oh.
So I guess no NFL team could have more than two of their players participate in the Olympics no matter what.
Yeah.
Interesting rules.
Yep.
Obviously, the NFL predominantly would have U.S. players. But there are a few. I was looking into it yesterday. Some guys that would have eligibility for other countries.
Yeah.
A few for Canada. Some for Greece.
Okay.
If they wanted to put a team. We don't even know which countries are going to participate in this.
I have no idea who is even going to participate in flag football.
Apparently, this was an interesting one that really I did not know about. Amon-Ra St. Brown, star wide receiver for the Lions, could participate for Germany.
For Germany?
Germany.
That is not what that's not where I thought you were going with that.
I guess he has citizenship in the United States and Germany.
That's honestly pretty cool.
I wonder if that's a military, if he grew up in a military thing
Maybe.
or what. But nevertheless, this is going to make the Olympics more exciting. The flag football at the Olympics, that's going to be fun.
For Americans, yes.
That's true.
I don't know about the rest of the world.
I'm with you on that. It's not that I don't want the NFL players there, because if it was just a bunch of people you've never heard of, you're not going to watch flag football at the Olympics.
No.
But because obviously the United States team will be stacked, and even if the other teams are really good at flag football and we're just good at football,
yeah,
we're still going to win, right? Because these are going to be such better athletes.
Yes. You would think that the athletic ability would just win out.
Yeah.
Overall.
And so it is going to be odd to, I don't want to diminish whatever other countries put together, but it's going to look like Justin Jefferson against Joe from accounting out there.
Yeah.
And that feels not like that will not be worth watching either. But the U.S. versus Canada should be a good game.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the thing that's coming back for me that I'm most excited about with the 2028 Olympics, and again, this Olympics, that Summer Olympics is going to be in America. Mm-hmm. I'm excited about baseball. It was not in the French Olympics, which I was devastated because it was new to the Olympics before that. Mm-hmm. And so I was really sad that they took a little break, a little hiatus from baseball, because there are a lot of international teams that are very good. World Baseball Classic, so much fun. And so I'm looking forward to that a lot.
Do we know if the MLB players are going to be at the baseball at the Olympics?
I believe they will be.
I hope so.
Yes.
They're going to take a break in the season or what?
Yeah, they are going to take a break.
Wow. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
That will be more competitive than flag football.
100% more competitive.
Buckle up. We're about to turn things over to Captain Alley. It's time to go where few men have gone before.
I mean, at this point, Katy Perry's made it there, so I don't know if it's as relevant of a statement anymore.
Not as exclusive as it used to be.
Not an exclusive club. Well, we do have some pretty crazy news, though. In October of 2022, and you're like, what do you mean? How can it be news if it was from October of 2022?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm setting it up. All right. In October of 2022, China launched the final module of its orbiting space station. Since then, it hasn't just been astronauts aboard Tiangong. Uh-oh.
This is the setup of something bad.
Yeah, this does feel like a setup of a movie, right?
Literally Alien. Yeah. Literally one of the Alien movies.
Yes. An unusual and previously unknown microbe has also been occupying low Earth orbit.
No.
So
microbe now.
What is it going to be in the future?
Yeah.
A group of scientists examined swabs collected from inside the Tiangong space station, revealing a form of bacteria not known to inhabit Earth. So new bacteria.
Yeah.
The previously unknown microbe is now, it has a name. It's called Nealia tiangongnesis.
Okay.
after the space station where it was discovered. That's what it's named after. And it has proven to be especially resilient, surviving in harsh conditions of microgravity. Follow-up
I guess
studies.
I should say so, yeah.
Yeah.
If it can survive in space,
Yeah.
it's got to be pretty resilient.
Yeah, I would say so. Or even, it might just be from space.
Right.
We're not sure. But follow-up studies of the swabs trace this newly discovered microbe to a strand that appears similar to a different bacteria that's on Earth, a rod-shaped bacteria with spore-forming bacterium, and that's been found in soil here on Earth.
Okay.
So right now, what's not clear is kind of the origin of where this comes from. Like, is it something that just has adapted over time on the space station? Or is it something that was already on Earth and just kind of hitched a ride? We don't know.
Okay. So we're saying we do not know if this is something that we brought, as in we as humans, but the Chinese brought to space.
Yes.
And then it changed while it was in space.
Yep.
Or whether it was something that was already in space and somehow got in there.
Yeah, I think there's probably actually 3 options.
Okay. Option 3 is...
So option 3 would be that it's from Earth, we just have never discovered it before, and it hasn't changed at all. So I would say the first 2 options that you gave are definitely valid options. But I think the more likely of the 3 are the ones where it's just something from Earth that's similar to a bacteria we have. It's just evolved. It's adapted to the conditions.
If Occam's razor is the simplest one, we just hadn't discovered it and it was already here on Earth.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That I want to tell myself that because that sounds less scary.
Yeah, I mean, it's an inference to the best explanation, right? That's kind of what we're going with here. But more studies need to be done.
Yeah. Well, it could. So, there's 3 options. One is that it's just something that's here and we don't even have to worry about. But the other 2 are concerning.
Okay.
Are that there's stuff in space or we bring stuff to space and it changes. And that could be problematic.
Sure.
It could be the end of the human race for all we know. One day, if that's what's happening.
Maybe.
We get breaking news. A notification comes up on your phone.
Okay.
Congress has voted to pass a law. The law is you have to love each other. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah.
First of all, you'd be like, why do I have notifications for this setup? Right. Secondly, you'd be like surprised. You'd be like, Congress passed a law? And then, but then third, you'd actually look at it and be like, wait, they passed a law that says we have to love each other. How do you think that would actually, if that was the law and you weren't loving other people, you were breaking the law, how do you feel like that would go?
Well, first of all, I don't think that love can be manipulated. Then it's not love. So it can't be force.
Okay.
So I disagree with the idea that you could even pass a law of, something where it's like forced. Law needs to be something, or love needs to be something it's true and real.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah, and you want to do it.
What if you at least had to act like you love people? That you had to convince police that you're loving each other.
You're playing nice in front of people.
I feel like if we follow, like if in this crazy scenario, and this actually was the law, and people were like, "Well, I guess I really better love people because I don't want to go to jail." So that's the alternative. We'd probably treat each other a lot nicer.
Yeah, fake it till you make it, maybe.
And then but I also know there'd be these guys that'd be like, "Excuse me. He's not loving me." Officer, you arrest this man. He is not sufficiently loving me.
He needs to do better.
Yeah, but I think on the whole, if like this was a requirement, I kind of feel like we'd be better off because we'd all be really concerned about like treating each other right.
Would we be concerned, or would we just be concerned about like seeming like we aren't loving people?
We'd be concerned about, I mean, I'll tell you this, you'd probably do a lot better job of making sure you didn't do anything that could be construed as not loving other people.
Good point.
You'd be much more careful what you say and the way you treat other people, so I think maybe there'd be less Karens, feel like. Yeah. Because Karens could go to jail for being Karens.
Yeah, I agree with you. To some extent. But I also will say there's no law in the book that has ever stopped a criminal before.
Yeah, well, it's it would be deterrent. I don't know if it would be. It wouldn't wash it away. It wouldn't stop people from not loving. But then they'd wind up in jail.
Yeah.
And we'd all probably be on a little better behavior. I think. Okay. Let me get to the point.
I was going to say, what are we talking about here?
Let me get to the point. That if we all had to be worried about going to jail, if we didn't love each other, we might be a little more loving. And here's the thing. That is the top commandment that God literally told everybody. The top, like if you consider that law, Jesus said, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. And also the second best commandment is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. We're supposed to, that is the law that God gave us.
Yes.
Jesus himself told us. And so how are we actually doing? You know what I mean? It's not the same because we're not going to go to jail if we don't love other people.
No.
But are we following that? Are we? And like we said, everybody may not completely love each other, even if that was the actual literal law of the United States. But hopefully we treat each other a little better. And so when you think in your mind, oh yeah, God told me to literally love everybody as myself. Treat other people, the golden rule, treat other people the way you want to be treated. I think it should change our actions just about everybody. Yeah,
absolutely. And here's the thing. The law, when God gives us the law in Scripture, we get it backwards. We think the law is what's going to change us. But it's God that changes us, that makes us want to follow the law.
Right.
It makes us want to love God with all our heart, soul, and mind. And it makes us want to love our neighbor. So don't get it twisted. Don't think that a law is what's going to make you love God and make you love your neighbor. Because again, that's not love. If it's forced and not freely given, that's not love. That's something else. But if it's something where your heart has changed so much that you're like, even if somebody does something wrong against me, I'm going to love them.
You're not going to be going, officer,
exactly.
Get them.
They're not doing it. Yeah. They're not loving me, you know.
Because that's not loving either.
That's not loving either. But yeah, that is the key point. And that's what makes Scripture so different than anything else that we see in the world. It makes it different than any law that Congress can pass, because it's literally God that changes you first to give you the ability to even follow that law.
And to put a bow on all of this too, you're right. If it was literally the law and we went to jail for not loving each other, we'd all eventually be in jail.
Yeah.
Because we can't do it. But because God is love as well, he's not chasing us around going, you're not loving people, you're going to hell, because God loves you so much too.
Yeah.
Find out what a relationship like that is like, and following that kind of love is like. Start talking to God about it and find out where it goes. You can go to RadioU.com/free gift if you want to know more. Buy now, pay never, ? 8772 Radio U. Klarna is one of the leaders in the buy now, pay later space, which is, blown up in the last several years.
It has.
Even earlier this year, we were talking about how now you can buy now, pay later. I don't remember if it was Klarna or another company, but that was offering that on DoorDash orders.
I think it was Klarna.
Yeah, and this is already expanded. Almost every, I feel like, online retailer now offers Klarna or Affirm or one of the Zip.
Afterpay.
Yeah. Where it can spread out your payments at no extra cost, which seems great until you don't pay them back, right? And then it can really come back to bite you. Or that you have a bill every month of all these different things.
You're getting used to being in a debt cycle.
Yeah, that have added up. But have we considered the third option, which is not paying back on time? The other option that a lot of people seem to be taking is never paying back. That's what Klarna is experiencing now. Their losses that they just came out have doubled compared to a year ago. They have lost $92 million, or they're expected to lose $92 million when all the numbers are factored in. That's bad.
That's pretty bad. And also, I have to say, I'm not a financial person, but I have to ask, because I hear a lot of people that use this service, they'll be like, it's interest free. It's 4 payments. It doesn't increase the cost. How does Klarna make money? How do they make money?
I think I have the answer to this.
Okay.
So let's just for example, if it is DoorDash and you have a $17 order and they have a deal with Klarna where you can split that up into 4 payments if you want, for some reason, $17.
Yeah.
The DoorDash is actually only getting like, let's say $16 from that. And then Klarna, like, because Klarna has the deal with them to be their exclusive
partner.
Yeah, payment provider. And so then they get a percentage of what your total bill is. And that's built in, I guess, for everybody.
Okay, so the main company is getting less money, and Klarna's getting a percentage of the money for them.
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that must be how it is.
And then I'm also assuming if you're late on paying them, that's when the fees come in.
100%. That
has to be the
bulk. That's
bulk.
where they would get the lion's share of their money, except that according to them, like, people aren't paying back. And so here's where as we go through like the debt, like going through this whole road that leads down to debt, is I'm assuming what's happening is if you have like a credit card, right? Or like some big bill, your car, you default on that, then they can repossess your car if it's your car. If it's a credit card, eventually they sell off that debt to another company that's like a debt collector that's supposed to chase you down. So then the credit card company is still making money. Yeah. Or at least getting their money back. Yeah. If nothing else. This, for Klarna, if we're talking about these really small payments, what debt collection wants to like chase down somebody for like $20? So I feel like they maybe don't have that part sorted out. I don't know. I don't know what exactly it is. But at the end of the day, it's just ironic that the company that's offering you buy now, pay later is themselves losing money because the people, they're losing money handing out what some would consider predatory loans. Exactly.
Well, and that's the thing is it's like, for the most part, I think, and this is the problem with American, I mean, we see this. I mean, there's headlines every day about the debt increase that Americans have, with whether it's credit card debt or student loan debt. It's just a problem across the board in our culture now. And we think it's like, okay, we've accepted it as normal, and it's not normal, but we've accepted that. But I feel like, as you said, it's these type of services prey on the people that can't afford these things. So even though they're signing up for these interest-free 4 payments, they can't afford the product to begin with. And so even if it is a lower amount every single time, they're still not going to be able to pay it.
Yeah, it's a lot of times what happens is you're chopping down the orange tree for firewood before it ever sprouts any oranges. Yep. And then now you have no more wood because you burned it and no more oranges. Yep. And this is a lesson we all need to learn. But it's from the top down. The government keeps losing money. Yeah, well, we learned it from you.
I know, 100%. It's a problem everywhere.
So Would You Rather Wednesday. The question is at 877-2-RADIO-U. Would you rather look like Yoda or look like a minion? You can pick any minion if it has to be like one of the regular ones. Yeah. And it's all like everything about you looks like a Yoda or minion. Susanna says, a minion seems more youthful and agile to me, so that's my choice. Plus, they're cuter. Okay. On the cuteness factor, tipping the scales to minion.
All right. Yeah. And then we also heard from Regina. She said she's going to go with minions because they're also cuter.
All right. The agreement that minions are cuter than Yoda.
Yeah, cuter than grown-up Yoda, old Yoda. Because baby Yoda is pretty cute.
You know what it is with Yoda? I think it's the hair.
The hair, it's a little scraggly.
It's just really thinning. Like, make up your mind, Yoda. Either shave it off or, like, I don't know, like, make up your mind.
A bald Yoda, what would that look like? I mean, baby Yoda's bald, right?
I guess. Yeah. Maybe. Jeff said hard Yoda, so people may still respect me. That's a good point. I do like DJ said Yoda looks like he knows how to make a cup of tea and never check his phone, so I'll go Yoda. Okay. Yeah, like
a peaceful existence.
Yeah, that is true. Yoda looks. He doesn't look human, but he looks more human. Yeah. There's people with body modifications that look less human than Yoda does. Maybe. I've seen them. Okay. On the news. Oh. Yeah, and like stories.
You watch the news?
Well, like read news. I don't know. I was leaning Minion, but Jeff kind of
He persuaded you.
Jeff kind of did. Like, people would respect you as Yoda more. But he's so, the thing is, though, Yoda is, like, he walks with a cane.
Yeah.
He's so, like,
but
he's
he does
frail.
have the Force.
He's frail. But do you get the Force by being in Yoda's body? I don't know.
That I don't know.
I don't think you do.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay, no Force powers. So yeah, you'd be a little fragile guy walking around with a cane.
I guess for my health, I'm going to have to go minion. You know what? Because, Jeff, people don't respect me anyways. So.
Oh.
So minion it is. Allie, what's your choice?
I'm going with minion as well because I'm just such a bubbly, optimistic gal. And I feel like that is captured well with the minions.
Yeah, that fits.
Yeah.
That fits.
It tracks. Thanks for listening to the RadioU Podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.